I bet you done had somebody to completely steal your idea. You were excited about something that God had showed you, and you shared it with people in whom you thought you could trust with it. And meanwhile, they took it and ran with it. And let's be honest, they look like they prospering with it, right? Meanwhile, you're sitting here broke, busted, and disgusted, mad, upset, ticked off about it, and are unable to move forward in the way that God has given it to you. Well, there is a follow-up word to the word that I posted on Sunday, give her back everything. You're gonna want to go watch that, okay? So there is a follow-up, and let me share what God shared with me this morning. He got me up specifically to come on here to be able to share this with you today. And that is in, remember the scripture, 2 Kings chapter 8. And in that storyline is where it said, after the 7 years of famine were up, the woman went back to her land. But then she went and cried out to the king to give her back her land, because she had to leave it for a time because of the famine, and she was obedient to the prophet because the prophet told her to go. So let me break something down to you. This vision that God has given you, you may have had to leave it for a time, or you may have lost your zeal for it, because of so many things coming against that vision. Meanwhile, that person or people who has stolen ideas from you and all of that other kind of stuff, they have your land. But it wasn't, it's God designed. Okay. So be encouraged right now, because this woman went and cried. She came back. Let's slow this down. She came back after the 7 years of famine was over. So why would she cry about something that belonged to her? When she returned, she probably saw, and this is not in the scripture, but this is me looking, just giving some context to the scripture, because there could have been a number of things that happened. But it said that she returned to her land. Well, there must have been somebody on it. See, there's somebody on your land. There's somebody on your idea, and they are, they are prospering with it. But let me tell you how good God is. Let me tell you how good God is. So it said that she went to the king, the one who could do something about it, the one who could change the circumstance. Okay, this woman came and cried. She was like, hey, that's my land. Such and such is on it. However she did it, whatever the situation was, but she knew who she could go to. Go to your king, our Father, which is in heaven. And he is the king of all things. So if you go and you cry to him, you cry to him because somebody got your land, somebody got your ideas, somebody took your vision and ran with it. Father, so when she went to cry out to him, the king said, because there was somebody in position to be able to corroborate her story, that is her land. That this is the woman right here. This is the woman that I was telling you about. So God has somebody in position telling somebody about you that can do something about your problem. Cry out to the king, cry out to the Lord, because he sees and he hears all. But also on the flip side of that, he said, give her back everything. So there is nothing that you would lose or that you could lose, because God says, give her back everything. Everything that belonged to you, everything that was lost, everything that was taken, everything that was stolen. Then on top of that, he said, make sure that she gets the fruit that was bared. Come on, the fruit that was bared from the time that she left to the time that she came back. So that's back pay. So those who stole from you, they got to pay you 7 times. And God gonna do it, because the enemy rose up in them to do something that they weren't supposed to do. So you be encouraged. You cry out to the king, because he is gonna make sure that you get back everything.